Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Baker, and I'm with Cyber Wyoming. And recently, I was at Cyber Maryland, where I met Sean Flowers with Ready for Cyber. Wanted to make sure I got that right. Ready for Cyber. And I wanted him to talk to us in Wyoming about some of his expertise and some of the programs that Ready for Cyber has. And so, Sean, would you take it away and just give him a little bit of background information about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Laura. So, Ready for Cyber was started in July of 2023. We are a cybersecurity workforce development nonprofit founded in the Washington, D.C. area. Our main purpose is creating customized cybersecurity curriculums that are available for diverse skilled learners for them to be able to transition into cybersecurity workspace and have real world practical experiences that are based off subject matter experts from the industry. Uh, Also, we do instructional support where we teach courses that are already provided for our to the public. We'll teach the courses that we create. We'll teach courses that already exist from the organization, and then we offer professional mentorship and development. So we also want to mentor and empower learners. So once they go through our program, through the customized curriculum, we'll walk them through all the way, all the way to an experience level, so they can really understand and be empowered to make good choices. Me, myself, I've been in cybersecurity for over 10 years, and I've worked in multiple industries. I've been in academia as a professor at University of Maryland Global Campus, where I met Laura here at Cyber Maryland. Also, I am a Chief Information Security Officer for the Department of Commerce as my full-time job, and I am a cyber officer in the Army Reserve. So I've been around the block a couple of times, had a lot of experiences, so definitely glad to be here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So that I would love to get into the Department of Commerce, uh, CISO. You said you were the CISO, Security Information Security or Cybersecurity Information Security Officer. Um, I'd love to get into that after we get through some of our other program information about Ready for Cyber. Um, Now, I saw that you have three main focuses. First is curriculum development, second is instructional support, and third is professional development. Now, in Wyoming, we're really rural. So we have small high schools where you might have an IT director for a school district also teaching classes for the high school, and maybe also supporting the sheriff's office or some local infrastructure. So I could see where instructional support, curriculum development, and professional development would really help them um, in the educational realm. Can you describe each focus and kind of talk to us about how that might help rural Wyoming?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the first one, curriculum development, we really focus on customization, right? We really want to hit what is the need that is required for the environment. So for a rural place, we want to be able to equip people with the basic foundations of cybersecurity. We want to make sure they understand the absolute things that you interact with every single day, the fundamentals. For your example with the IT director, having more people that understand the basis of cybersecurity will help take the burden off of some of his responsibilities that he has to do. Even in the police department, if he's supporting that organization, having some staff that may understand the basics, or having somebody, maybe a help desk technician who understands the basics, will be essential. And putting this really in reach to the general masses is what we really want to do to develop those skills. The second one is instructional support. So let's say the rural in these cases, rural locations have a hard time with managing attrition. So a place like that wouldn't really be able to hire and pay people kind of the market rate that you would expect in bigger locations such as Washington, D.C., San Francisco. So it's really hard to keep those locations staffed. I had an issue like this before, working with a college in St. Louis, Missouri, where it was hard to kind of keep people. They had an issue keeping people there because they just couldn't pay what what their peers were getting paid in virtual positions supporting larger organizations in bigger metropolitan areas. So that's where we come in and we offer the subject matter expertise for people that want to help and want to generally bring their expertise and help out the community and the public. So that's what we're really driven by. And us being a nonprofit, people really want to support the mission. Most people just want to give back and teach in any way they can to help everybody else and help uh, create cybersecurity skills and jobs for everybody else. And then for professional development, again, going back to the lack of skilled people that need to teach, that can teach, there also becomes a lack of people that can mentor and help people see what careers are out there and help people be empowered to make those good choices and make those well-informed choices on what the field of cybersecurity really has to offer. There are a lot of things out there. There's a lot of concentration that you can have in cybersecurity. There are a lot of benefits to it, and how we can really bring this to the rural area where those reaches might stop in the next biggest city. We can have those online resources that connect people, because that's what we're really doing. We're really connecting people and putting them all in a similar place where we have mentors and mentees they naturally wouldn't have access to. They can talk to and help them and help empower them to make their own decisions and make a career choice that's best for them and their long-term goals.
That's really interesting that you provide mentors because recently our Wyoming Department of Workforce Services beta tested a teacher apprenticeship. And they didn't necessarily do it for computer science and cybersecurity, but they, math and science and a lot of these, and some of these were, and it's mostly in high school level, but some of these teachers were wanting to upskill from maybe third grade, and teach just one science or one subject of science in high school or something like that. They were just ready for a change. And others were from industry, but they had a master's degree in some related field and they wanted to be a math teacher. The problem is the mentors, right? If we don't have a large amount of computer science teachers and cybersecurity teachers in Wyoming in the first place, then who would mentor them? Well, that sounds like something that Ready for Cyber could help with. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We and our instructional support also includes educator training, where we train those people who want to upskill, and we provide access to those mentors. Like you said, it's kind of a two-part problem, right? If you don't have the experienced staff, who's going to mentor the other people who needs to come after them?
Oh, that's great. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper into curriculum development. Who are the audiences and how can Ready for Cyber help?
Sure. Well, the audience is any organization who wants to create some cybersecurity workforce development, or anybody who wants to teach cybersecurity, or empower any users or learners on cybersecurity education. What we've seen is we work with, of course, academic institutions that are primary. Those are our usual customers and clients. K through 12, universities, high schools. We even ventured out to a couple nonprofits, some internship seminar locations. But what we currently do is we've actually stumbled upon a different type of environment where it's kind of overlooked that cybersecurity education could be really beneficial, and that's the juvenile detention environment. So that's where we're primarily at right now, where we provide curriculum development for justice impacted learners. We're there teaching them courses, teaching them Python, just really redefining their possibilities and really driving a different type of success for the people that may not have made the best choices, but there's still time for them to turn their life around and really work on something that they're interested in. It's something that you can really make your own, whether that's whether that's just liking to create something or if it's just money that kind of drives them. That's okay. Because those things drive a lot of people, but we really just target anybody who really needs the education, really needs to help redefine their cybersecurity education, because we want to create a skilled, diverse workforce in cybersecurity, and that could be any organization that shares the same mission as us.
So that's also interesting for us too, because our regional Salvation Army has an office in Casper, and I believe that they might be creating one in Cheyenne too for women that are coming out of incarceration to teach them technical skills. And so I'm going to make sure that I connect you with them. The other thing is, I don't know if you know this, but I designed the software for the very first juvenile assessment center in the nation.
Oh, wow. Nice.
In Golden, Colorado. Yeah. Yeah, this was way
That's
back in the
awesome.
90s.
I'm not gonna say when I was born, but
So, it was a lot of fun, and it was amazing, to have these assessment centers to get the kids off the street. A lot of them were truant, and might be, um, picked up by the police. And if you put them into jail, the likelihood of them getting hurt was pretty high. So what Jefferson County, Colorado did is they created the Juvenile Assessment Center. It was a collaboration between sheriff's office and police departments and the school districts and the mental health center. And the mental health center actually kind of ran it. And so the kids would get dropped off by the police officers. They could sit in bean bags, but they'd have to also take some personal responsibility. And quite often they'd have to appear before a judge, get some sort of community contract, and fulfill that contract. But wouldn't it be great if, Ready for Cyber, some part of that community contract was, I need to learn Python. I mean, what a great win-win situation for many different organizations there.
yeah, yeah, we have to understand that, workforce development is beyond the typical skills that we grown to know and love, like mechanics and construction. I mean, those are very important, but cybersecurity should be one of them. It's a component in every part of our industry and lives.
Agreed. I mean, it affects us at home. It affects our parents. It affects our children. It affects everybody. If you don't have multi-factor authentication, for instance, on your bank accounts, when you're accessing your online bank portals, that could affect you one day. So yeah, I agree. It affects everybody. Um, okay, so what's a success story with a customer, for instance, for this custom curriculum development that you'd like to share?
Sure. So I'll talk about our Python cohort that we have in the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services. So there we were contacted about creating a Python course for justice impacted learners. And we hold this cohort for 6 weeks, and we have about 8 kids in there, and we teach them the basics of Python. Now, this is a really awesome opportunity here as we get to make a difference in our community, number one, transition some lives and really empower and put a spark in them so maybe they will be able to go out and pursue this as a career opportunity rather than kind of be in the environment that they're in. We want to provide that possibilities there. And one of the things that we've done is we've created a basics intros course where they're learning how they're learning the terms, they're learning variables, they're learning what loops and if statements are, and then they're also creating a project. So they have a game that they create at the end. So for this one, we had the students kind of pick, and they really enjoyed picking the Hangman game. So throughout the course, we're having them kind of develop code throughout it. We put a couple tricks in there so they can have a couple errors or unexpected indents, those fun syntax errors in the Python code, and they go in and they set it up. And at the end of the course, they went and they traded seats with each other and they played each other's game. And whoever won the game will be able to get a little prize, something that we just say that, hey, you built the toughest game, or yours was the funnest to play or the hardest. And I think the biggest success and the best thing from that experience is just watching the learners just really be happy, and they're doing something productive. They're having a good time. They're learning. They're helping each other. They're learning a good skill. They absolutely enjoy this. And that was probably the best part about delivering a program to that type of demographic, just creating that impact and really having somebody walk away with the skill and say, I understand the basis of Python. I can go somewhere and I can point this out, or if they're looking at something, they can say, hey, they can explain to somebody and say, hey, this is probably happening because there's a loop. And I know if statements because I learned it when I was in Ready for Cyber's Python course. Now we call the course Code Commanders, of course, because the the football team out here in the area, but we really just want to hit that aha moment where learners and anybody really can have that connection where they can put two and two together with their everyday life, and they can really think, I learned this when I was in my course, and this makes sense to me now. And then they could tell somebody else who might not have the same knowledge about the topic, and that's how you really know that you've instilled a skill in them. So at the end of the course, we give them certificates of completion for completing a Code Commanders course. And when they leave there, some of our learners are leaving this month, and they'll go out and hopefully they'll get a career in coding or Python, and we'll kind of mentor them and watch them and help empower them to make those decisions going forward. So big success for Ready for Cyber, a big impact for the learners there, a big impact for our community. Even though it's a small subset, this is what this is what it starts with. This is how it starts. And we're doing our next cohort at the end of the month as we have this partnership with the detention center to keep offering these courses every 6 weeks.
So is it a full 6-week course and you just restart it each 6 weeks, or is it a 1-week boot camp or something like that?
It is. We restart every 6 weeks. We try not to keep it call it a boot camp.
Mhm.
We try to call it more of an intro course where they actually walk away with a skill rather than learn just enough to pass an exam or something like that. We really want to instill a skill, so when they leave there, they should be able to know how to write basic scripts.
Great. So one of those gotchas, I take it, was a continuous loop that wasn't closed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've had those myself. That's a good
hmm
skill to know.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Um, so now let's talk a little bit about the instructional support, the second program that you have, the second focus. How would this focus specifically help rural academic organizations? You touched on it before, but get a little bit more into depth there.
Sure. So instructional support is probably the core part of our business model. So our business model focuses on content creation and content delivery. Content creation is creation of curricula and also creation of certain documents and professional mentorship portion, like a career roadmap and those kind of things. But content delivery is the core. Right. Now, we understand that a lot of organizations create content. We have Clark, we have cyber.org, teach.org, and the list continues. But what everybody's really missing is that content delivery. And that's how we really got into the space in the first place, because the detention center was using code.org, and by all means, it's an amazing site and it's a great experience for everybody to use, but it just wasn't quite meeting their needs per se, and they needed somebody to really help deliver that. And that's where we come in. So content delivery and teaching support really brings those SMEs all the way out to places where they might not have been naturally available at, I'll say. So in places like Wyoming, where again, my example in St. Louis, where the instructors are they're just out of reach because of either pay bans or just location, geographic location, we can really bring those instructors to those locations. Now, of course, we live in a digital world, so using virtual means of instruction is probably some of the best and the most transformative educational experiences over the last decade. But it also helps bring those SMEs to these rural areas where they would not normally be able to show up. And through Ready for Cyber, a nonprofit, they're really here to really advance the mission and help bring that empowerment and that skill to these learners who really are trying to get into the field or just refine their skills altogether. And through that, we also do educator training where we'll actually train the educators. So if you have staff and you might have somebody in construction or mechanics teaching a cybersecurity course, which I will say I'm not going to call names, but I've seen it before. And we can train them up on their course, and we can help them be proficient in the delivery of that technical course, because we're here to empower and encourage uh, our skilled workforce on how to train cybersecurity, whether it's us delivering it or whether we're helping somebody else deliver. We can provide these services at any location for any background, any environment.
So to summarize, if the high school or community college or even a university was missing people, ready cyber force or ready for cyber could jump in and kind of help with that instructional gap for a while they were training somebody that was coming into that high school, community college, or university. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. That's
Yeah.
that's really helpful because I know that all of our community colleges and many of our high schools are really struggling to keep and recruit um, these teachers or instructors. And so that's amazing that it's a great service to know about. So thank you for talking about that. Okay. I'd like to say finally, but I have one more question that I added on to, and it's more for small businesses, but let's continue on with the educational discussion. I love that your professional development includes this professional mentorship services. What would a rural high school teacher tasked to teach cybersecurity expect from this mentorship and your professional development programs?
Sure. A high school teacher could expect learners to kind of understand the field and know what are the concentrations out there. So what we really do is we empower learners to take charge of their career. So what would be ideal is the the instructor can kind of get the students to kind of start thinking short term and long term, where they can really think about how they want to map out their career in cybersecurity. And what we like to do is provide a baseball card, which within high school we can provide to them that they can provide to the students. And this baseball card just highlights a tip. Just a timeline, hobbies, positions they would like to have, skills they would like to have, certifications, desired position, just et cetera, et cetera. And it really puts the skills on paper and it puts the thoughts on paper so they can start thinking about how they can navigate the field of cybersecurity. And we do this because everybody tells the same story. That's just get in cybersecurity, just get certifications, just get CISSP, just get this. And it's like what is and I get a lot of messages from my students and they want to know, well, I just was just told to get certs. What am I supposed to do next? Where do I work? And we're trying to capture that at the lowest levels so you could be proficient and really work on those skills that you want to have. Because every part of cybersecurity is not something that you might want to get into. For me, I'm not that good at coding, even though I'm teaching a coding course. I have other people that help me teach that, but I am not experienced in that. And that all certifications apply to that. So helping them understand the field and the possibilities in high school will be amazing. If people can know that they can work at Google, they can work at Facebook, they can make 500,000 a year, they can make 200,000 a year out of high school with their certain skills. That'd be tremendous because those are things that people don't know. Even I didn't know. And a lot of people kind of sell themselves short because they just don't think they have the experience and they don't know about the opportunities. So this will empower them and provide those opportunities, those internships, and I will let them be able to know that really the possibilities are endless. And that technical instructor can let them know, here are the opportunities that you can have. Let's put it down on paper. Let's have a roadmap. And then they can kind of pick out some of the skills that and things that they want to home in from that course that the instructor is teaching. And when they get out of the course, they'll have a game plan. And that's the thing that we really want for our learners.
So if you have a teacher in rural Wyoming in a small town of maybe 2,000 people, what these baseball cards, but they're not baseball, but what these cards can do is help them um, recognize their students' skill building, as well as help them figure out where that can go in a career path. Is that correct? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
What a great
And
tool. And a baseball card format is a great idea.
yeah, it's just a one pager. It just has a couple sections on the side and it just helps them kind of map it out.
Oh, that's fabulous. So really what you're doing is you're helping each teacher become that mentor for a student. Is that correct?
Yeah, Yeah, it all starts at the lowest level, starts with the instructor. It helps. That's usually who people go to for career and guidance about what they should do next.
Fabulous. Well, and I could see high school counselors using these cards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That too. That'd be an awesome resource.
So is there anything else that you'd like to add about the educational tools that you want Wyoming to know about um, from Ready for Cyber?
You know, yeah, I just want to kind of recap on why we're doing this and kind of the tools and services we really offer. And we're really doing this to make a difference in our community, to build this skilled, diverse workforce in cybersecurity because it's a component of our everyday lives. And we want to bring this awareness to the masses and have people equip themselves with the fundamentals on how to defend themselves. And this starts by integrating into elementary education, K through 12, and then more of a deeper dive into our curriculums in colleges and universities and things like that. That's why we offer customized curricula, which can be built to support and suit any needs, any organization's needs, whether it's just a quick coding program or it's a mentorship program or you want to redevelop a whole department. We are there. If you need to train your instructors on how to deliver cybersecurity education, or if you just need instructors to help fill a gap, we can do that for you. If you want to empower students, if you want to empower your learners, you get a lot of questions about what should I do? What certification should I get? We are there. We connect you with people who have been there. I'm a chief information security officer, so a lot of people want to be in a role such as mine, and I'm here to give my advice and my experiences on how you can meet this kind of role and what are some of the education requirements to get here. And we can bridge that gap, and we have experienced subject matter experts in a lot of fields that can help you get to where you want to be.
Mhm. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Sean, for joining us today and explaining these programs uh, for our Wyoming educators. I'm sure that they're going to be excited to watch this video, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to record this with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that we were able to have this time, and I was able to talk to Cyber Wyoming. So I'm hoping that we can have more dialogues and talk more about collaborations in the future.
Absolutely. Definitely. We definitely need to do that. Thank you so much and have a great day.